Hi. Yesterday I uploaded a video clip on the three keys to success in any language. And I talked a little bit about each one of the factors, the three keys. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the first key I talked about, which was engagement. Just go in a little bit more depth about it. So engagement is something that, as I explained yesterday, is that feeling that you get and that sense that you get when you get pulled into something. And you know when you're engaged because there's a level of attention and a level of involvement that normally you may not get when you're learning something. So it's not just being able, the key to that is not just being engaged for a moment or two, but the key is to stay engaged. And the only way we can do that is to be attentive and to follow the keys to, follow the keys, that word again, is follow our nose, as it were. So just going back one step, so engagement happens when there's some kind of challenge, and the challenge can't be too big, and if it's too big, as I mentioned before, if it's too much of a challenge, you don't want to even attempt it because it's just too frustrating and can't do that. Or if it's too small, it's just too boring, you won't even attempt it or give it up very quickly. The challenge has to be in the right spot, sweet spot. So when you're challenged in that area, your senses, your mind, your eyes, your ears, everything gets it gets basically hooked in, and you feel like you are your energy levels actually rise because you're so attentive to what's going on. You're trying to find the keys, the answers to the problem that you have. And by being so attentive, this kind of energy is what we call about engagement. So it's a very fine line, and to follow that engagement, you actually have to follow that energy, as it were, and to keep looking for the answer. And then when you find it, you pose yourself another one or look for another one. And it's a question really of letting your attention, letting your awareness, letting your senses guide you. Which brings me to the issue that goes on so often in many situations when you're learning, especially in language classes, and even if you basically go about learning by yourself, what happens is that when you follow the direction of somebody else too closely, when they're leading you, whether it's the teacher or whether it's a course book or whether it's a video course or whatever, basically you're giving up that sense of guiding yourself, that sense of engagement. And even though the activities that are provided might engage you for a moment or two or even longer, because you're being led by somebody else, the engagement will sort of subside, will get less and less. That's if the person or the guide is actually guiding you too closely. So that's something to be aware of when you're learning, whether by yourself or with somebody else, is not to let yourself follow them, because the more you follow them too much, basically what happens is you give up your own sense of challenge and own sense of engagement. So that's something that to be attentive to. The other thing that with engagement and with presenting yourself with a challenge, sometimes you get to the point where you just don't know what to do. You're frustrated or your progress stops. It's really important to let yourself have a rest, to walk away from it. And as they say, having a sleep on something will help you. Sometimes it's only just going for a short walk or doing something else will bring, when you come back, your subconscious, your unconscious reworks that completely somehow, and provide you with answers or provide you with insights that otherwise you wouldn't have come to. So it's a matter of learning to trust yourself and learning to understand that challenges can really be very useful to you, and you should let them guide you and not be put off by them, but find a challenge that you think you can handle and work at that in a way that keeps you energized. As soon as you find energy falling off, it's time to do something else, whether to have a rest or whether to find another challenge and maybe come back to another day. It's that learning to understand how you function in front of a challenge, in front of your engagement, that it will enable you to keep going and going to the point where you can master whatever you're learning, in whether it's pronunciation or whether it's the structures of the language or whether it's just talking to people, how you can manage that better. Every aspect of this, of your learning a language, can improve once you learn to understand how engagement can actually help you to keep learning. The other two keys I mentioned yesterday were skills development and also confidence. So I'll talk about that at another time. Hope it's been helpful to you. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.